Hi there. So, just when you thought nothing's coming along, then like the bus, two come along at once. So, here's another review, and I'm reviewing a book called 100, a ranking of the most influential persons in history by a guy called Michael Hart. So, this is a book. So, I remember a few notes about this again. So, this was originally published in 1978. But it was so popular that it got republished in the 1990s. Essentially, what it is involves a list of the most influential people of world history. Now, that doesn't mean the best, the greatest, or the noblest. It just means people who have left a legacy on human history. And what's interesting about Michael Hart's book is what he does is he has tried to rank them in order of most influential to least influential. Now, I'm not going to say who comes where, because I think part of the fun is actually disagreeing with Michael Hart or agreeing with him and saying who is actually who comes where. So that I think is quite interesting. Some of the figures you're going to obviously agree with off the top of your head. You're going to say, obviously, they've got to be in the top 100. Some of the religious figures, Buddha, Jesus, all that kind of thing. So you know that they've got to be in the top 100, right? But some people you go, who? I mean, like, for example, I was looking through this and I was thinking, Shi Huang Ti, no idea who that is. He comes in at number 17. That's pretty high. I have no idea who that person is. But if I look at that, obviously he's the great Chinese Emperor Shi Huang Ti, who ruled from 238 to 210 BC, united China. So he's obviously somebody who's had an influence and a continuing influence on humankind. Other people, Werner Heisenberg, number 46, no idea who that is off the top of my head. If I say Thomas Malthus, how many of you will know who he is? He's in at number 80. Gregory Pincus is number 82. Mani is number 83. Do you know who Mani is? Yeah. Sui Wen-ti, number 85. Actually, I'll look that up. Sui Wen-ti, number 85. Who the heck is that? 420. The Chinese Emperor Sui Wen-ti, original name Yang Xian, succeeded in reunifying China again after it had been badly divided for hundreds of years. Okay, so obviously uniting China is a big deal. John Locke, obviously, I know he's a philosopher, and he put together the basic ideas of constitutional democracy. So, it's all I'm going to say about this book is that it's a fascinating read. It's the kind of book that you'll go and look at again and again. It's not one that you're going to read from beginning to end. And it is quite fun looking at the people who he reckons are the most influential, as in they've left a mark on humankind. A few things that were, and the way that he writes it's like a potted history. So in about 2 or 3 pages, he gives you a good summary of what they've done and why he thinks that the most influential people in terms of human history. What else about this? Like I said, it's a kind of book you'll keep coming back to. There's a very interesting bit at the back of the book, which he has a few final comments, and I've got to read this because I think it's quite funny. So the first thing that he noticed, he actually breaks them down into a table, and apparently the large majority of them, of these people who he thinks have left an influence on humankind, a large majority of them come from Europe. From that, it appears that the British have made a greater contribution to human civilization than any other region or nation. So that's how many? Out of 100 people, he's got 18 British people on this list. Now, by the way, Michael Hart is actually an American. I think he's an American general or something, or retired general. I think he's passed away now. But out of those 18 British people, 5 of them come from Scotland. So, and all 5 of these people come from the top half of the list, the 1 to 50. So, considering that Scottish people constitute 1/8 of 1%, that's quite an amazing concentration of talent and achievement to have left that influence on humankind. And I think probably what it is since the Industrial Revolution, there was a huge number of inventors, and the effect of the Industrial Revolution and technology has made a huge influence on humankind. So you can imagine people like, the influence that people like, who would it be? Lister, who basically invented antiseptics. Because of Lister, people survive operations. People before, when they were operated on, wouldn't survive because they would get affected by infections. Then you have people like James Watt. Who else? Alexander Graham Bell obviously invented the telephone. Alexander Fleming invented antibiotics. All of these people have left a huge effect on humankind, and you could say that, yeah, they've, in terms of their effects on our everyday lives today, they've left a huge influence. What else? Interesting. Yeah, there are some other elements to this that he found really. I mean, of course, you can always disagree with these things. You can always, there's always a lot of argument about it. He also, what he also tries to argue in this, that although historical events are important, it's the scientific events that have probably affected our lives more than anything else. He's also noted that at least 19 of the people on the list never married. And of those married, not all had offspring. So at least 26 people on the list haven't had children. Also, most of the people, as you'd expect, were highly educated. Only 7 of the 100 most influential people of all time were actually illiterate. And a lot of those were people who were involved as kind of generals in wars and things like that. So, very interesting book. It's a book that you'll read again and again, I think. And you'll want to look at. Each biography in itself is really very interesting and really quite fascinating. I just opened it up and I saw another name that I didn't recognize. Who is this? There was another name that Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. Who the heck is that? Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. I don't know if you ever recognize this guy, but apparently he's the discoverer of X-rays. Again, I didn't know that. I thought that was Marie Curie, but there you go. So a lot of really good stuff in this book. I would very much recommend it. If you've got children at school, I think they will absolutely love it. I could see that they would love to read through this. It's something I'll definitely let the kids at, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it too. It's something that you'll have a lot of fun with, and like I said, the actual biographies individually are really, really interesting. Antoine Laurent Lavoisier, great French scientist. Antoine Laurent Lavoisier was the most important figure in the development of chemistry. Right, I need to get into that a bit more. So the 100 ranking of the most influential persons in history by Michael Hart. Hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.